Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy. I'm curious. We're going to obviously talk a lot of Jayden here, but we mentioned that you're on the road recruiting, and that's a huge emphasis in December, whereas 10 years ago you may have been trying to get ready for a bowl game, but because of the early signing period, it is what it is. I've got to imagine this entire season offensively and what Jayden is set to accomplish tomorrow has helped a little bit in recruiting. Is that fair to say?
I would say there's definitely a lot of people who were paying attention. You know, a lot of young quarterbacks that were paying attention, a lot of young offensive players that were paying attention. I think I will say this: I think they saw it this off season. You know what I mean? As they were visiting us, they saw it coming. But then when all of a sudden it becomes tangible and they can actually go, okay, well, all right, well, we can not only be a top 15 offense, top 10 offense, we can be number one in the country, and I can do that, and I can see myself doing that. Yeah, it gets pretty exciting. So, but that's a credit to the players that we've had out there. You know, the guys who were out there performing that way, and so then some young guys see that, hey, I can do that at LSU. So it definitely makes our job a little bit easier.
Well, y'all created this, so I don't know if it makes it a lot easier. It's something that y'all created, and Jayden was a huge part of that. He had a decision to make last January after the bowl game, whether or not he wanted to go to the NFL after 4 years of being a starting quarterback in college, or he wanted to come back and play again, and he decided to come back. I'm curious what your discussions were with him after he made that decision. Hey, I'm going to come back. What was the main thing that you wanted to get accomplished between January and Labor Day?
Well, I think, and this is this stems down from Coach Kelly's belief and structure. You know, it's important to have a vision of what you want to accomplish, but then you have to have a process of how you're going to do that. And we kind of mirrored it based on the process that Coach has for the entire program. Obviously, the vision was for him to really improve in all of his facets of his game, from his mental approach and emotional approach to his physical structure to the technical aspects, and then, as Coach would say, the tactical aspects and understanding of our offense and football in general. And then we really just broke it down into those four categories, talked about strengths and weaknesses. But I think the big thing was, the collaboration with Jayden and us as coaches, and his involvement with it. And then what we were able to do is take those things that we need to either highlight or things we need to improve and kind of put them more into action items, right? Hey, I want to gain 20 pounds. Okay. Well, I want to gain 20 pounds in 6 months, or I want to gain 20 pounds in 7 months. Okay, well, let's break that down. That's 3 pounds a month. So that means every week I know if I don't gain a pound, I know I got to step it up more the next week, right, in terms of nutrition. And it's something I can track, something I can work towards, as opposed to just, well, I need to improve my footwork. Well, that's very broad, right? Let's break it down into things that we can accomplish on a daily basis, put it on a calendar, and let's attack it that way. And we did that. We put that out there, and he was a part of that. And then he went to work and did it.
I'm going to go to two quotes we heard in press conferences. One last year where Brian Kelly said, yeah, Jayden doesn't have an interception, but that might not be a good thing. We may not be taking enough chances. That's one quote. And then Mike Denbrock said before the season, we were very, very good last year at catching the ball with our backs to the end zone. And so we did it a lot. We need to get guys catching the ball on the run. And I take those two quotes and then I look at an offense that completed more balls over 20 yards than any in the country, and those two things obviously very much happened. What was that process like?
Yeah, so I think, one, he still didn't throw any interceptions, so that's positive. We didn't change that one. That was good. All right, but there was 4, and a tip ball, a couple of things here and there, right? But he protected the football well, which I think was really good. But obviously, when Coach Kelly was talking about that, it was just about his trust to take risks. I do think the thing is his interceptions went up in practice, kind of at the end of last year and this offseason, because I think he started to push himself to maybe challenge throws during practice. And I think as he allowed practice to make him better, right, and take those chances in practice, that's how you get better, right? That's how you get better, and he did that. And I think you saw that show. I think what Coach Denbrock was talking about was something we talked about as an offensive staff and made a huge effort of making sure that we put our guys in position to catch runners, to hit receivers running. And we did that a few different ways. One, adjusting our shallows, working on throwing and catching slants. Some of it was, I guess, structural, right, from a coaching staff perspective, and trying to highlight certain things and work on them in spring. And then some of it was our guys working together and Jayden and the receivers developing that trust. And that was the biggest thing, right, is them developing that just being in sync and being on the same page with one another on all the different routes that we have. And I think us giving them that detailed plan of what they needed to do. And again, they're the ones that got to go out and do the work. And they did that. And a lot of it, a lot of it speaks to just their hard work all together. And I think some of it speaks to Jayden's leadership.
Joe Sloan's our guest, LSU quarterbacks coach. In fall camp, did you see this coming?
So it's funny. I going into spring, right? Just kind of watching the way he was working. I said, well, I hope all this shows up in spring. I hope all this work that I see him doing shows up in spring practice, right? Then you watch him in spring, you're like, well, man, just really a lot of good stuff. Now we just got to carry this into the summer, fine tune some things, reset our goals a little bit, and then let's carry it into August. And you kept saying, okay, well, all this work, is it going to show up on Saturdays? And because you see it, and you're like, if this shows up on Saturdays, he's gonna make a huge jump from already being a really, really good quarterback to being the best in the country. And that's kind of the vision that we had as we watched, because you watch him at practice and you see what's happening, and it's like, hey, if we can put this together on Saturdays, it's going to do it. And I think the beginning of the season, especially Mississippi State, really was the one that kind of straw that broke the camel's back a little bit. And it was no looking back from there.
We've been talking about the Heisman Trophy for a month here pretty much every single day. And Jayden had to go out there and play and had to feel some of that. How much pressure do you think was on him late in the season?
Well, I think if you're focused on, and I'm going to use the word again, right? But if you're focused on your process every week, and if you have a successful process, then you don't have to worry about pressure. You don't have to worry about whatever, because shouldn't you have been playing your best and preparing your best every week? So why should it change, right? And I think that's where, when you can develop that and you develop that trust in that process, and you know that it's working, you know how you're studying film, you know how we're working in practice, you know how your preparation's going, you know what you do on Mondays and on Tuesdays and on Wednesdays and on Thursdays, you know how you think between Friday and the game. You know what type of mindset you have during warm-up. If you're doing all those things, then all you do is just repeat. You don't have to say, well, I got to do something different or better this game. No, you don't have to do anything better. All we got to do is continue to focusing on our process and pay more attention to the detail and attack it that much harder. And that's what he did. And I think that's what was really, really neat to watch, is as the big moments came, he didn't have to rise to the moment. He just, as coach would say, doubled down on his process.
Is there something we don't know about Jayden at this point?
No, I don't know. You guys ask all the questions, so I think you guys got it all at this point. Right?
Coach, we really appreciate some time. I know you're busy. Congratulations on an unbelievable season, and enjoy tomorrow, okay?
Thank you. He's an unbelievable young man. It's been really fun to watch him grow and develop from already a really successful football player, and then really watch him grow and over the last 2 years. So it's been awesome. He has everything. He deserves everything coming to him. And it's definitely been fun to watch. And I know that would probably be echoed by all the LSU fans out there.
We're going to enjoy tomorrow. We've enjoyed it all year. Thanks for a little bit of time, Coach.
Thanks, man.
Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.